Hello, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast. Nothing Beast here with you on this Wednesday evening, and I, I'm a little, I'm not at 100% today, and there's a very good reason for it, or not a good reason, but a big reason for it. We got the news earlier this morning that Gilbert Gottfried passed away, and I'm really sad about this. A lot of times the celebrity passings, they don't really hit me super hard. Uh, but Gilbert Gottfried is hitting me a little harder than I usually feel. He was a very funny comedian, and I have been a fan of his basically my entire life. I remember the first time that I saw him, I was staying up late and watching USA's Up All Night. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but he hosted that show for a long time. I think it was between 89 and well and through the 90s. And I remember staying up late and watching, and I would see him in some movies, Problem Child 1 and 2, and then of course voicing Iago in Aladdin. And a lot of people just said that he was annoying and abrasive and everything, and I could not have disagreed harder. I thought that his delivery was what made the jokes funny. Uh, there were a lot of times that I would watch him doing a stand-up routine, and he would tell just the corniest jokes. I don't remember which tour he was doing. Maybe it was the Rubber Balls and Liquor, uh, where he and I could totally be wrong on that one, but he literally would just take a joke book and just read jokes from the joke book, and they were the corniest, the dumbest, the silliest, just most hackneyed jokes that you would ever hear. And Gilbert's delivery is why you would laugh. If anyone else told the joke, it wouldn't register. And that's what I loved about him. That was his talent. He could take a joke and he would make it funny in ways that other comedians just couldn't do it. Like if Gilbert Gottfried told a joke, like literally a joke book that your dad would have. He would just flip to a page, point to a joke, he would deliver it and get a laugh. Whereas other comedians like maybe Jeff Foxworthy or something like that wouldn't be able to do the same, wouldn't get the same register because it was all in his delivery, and I always appreciated that. I'm not going to harp on this for too much longer. I'm just going to tell my favorite Gilbert Gottfried joke that I have told so many times, and it's something that always makes me and my wife laugh. And it comes up a lot. It comes up so often. I don't know why, but every time something triggers this joke, I just go ahead and say it. It gets a laugh, and then we move on. And I'm going to try it in my best Gilbert Gottfried, but I do not do a good Gilbert Gottfried. I just talk in an abrasive voice, and it's nowhere near as good. So, all right, here we go. A man goes into the doctor. He says, "Doctor, I can't remember if my wife has VD or TB. The doctor says, "Chase her around the bed. If she coughs, fuck her." And I laugh just like that every single time that jokes. Anytime I pass by a medical clinic and they're talking about tuberculosis, that joke pops in my head. So God bless you, Gilbert Gottfried. Thank you so much for the laughs over the years. And I hope you and Bob Saget are now up there wherever talking about the good old days, because I know the two of you worked a lot together in the comedy clubs. From what I hear from the other comedians when Bob Saget passed away, apparently Gilbert Gottfried was part of that inner circle and everything. So hopefully you guys are hashing some notes about this existence. So anyway, oh, it's just so sad. It's so sad, so sad. Okay, so now that the seriousness is out of the way, see if I can get these on with my headphones on. There we go. Well, damn it, it's a week leading up to Easter. I have to wear my ears. Okay, so moving on to the shameless plug section of the show. Another reminder that I have a new video on my YouTube channel, Sugar Pants Video Basement. It is Night Beast. It's about an alien that crashes to Earth and starts shooting and killing and eating everybody in the area. It's a bad movie, but it's a fun movie. It's a fun, bad movie. And I recommend it highly. It's one of those movies where it's like, get yourself a drink or some substance of choice, sit down with your friends, and have a laugh. Because it is a funny movie, unintentionally, but it's a charming movie. Okay, so I've been promoting the heck out of those for a while, so I'm not going to harp on that for too much longer, because we got to get to our video game. Okay, we are playing Crimsonland. This is a game, and we're going to start off on Quest. It's a dual-stick game, and it starts you off real kind of simple. So I'm just going to go through the levels. And just try to get through them. It's been a while since I played this, but when I first got this, I got it on a sale. It was only a couple of bucks, and oh my god, I couldn't believe how much fun it was. Alright, move on to level 2, or level 1. I think I'd rather have that one. In the game, you have a lot of guns, you have a lot of level ups. Maybe this wasn't the best gun to pick. Okay, so I've just leveled up, so now I get to pick a random perk. And there's a lot of perks. A lot of perks that you can use. Each one is good for different situations. The toughest part about this game is you can get cornered. But these are just the beginning levels, so... I level up right as the level ends. Then you get your stats and you move on. Ooh, that's miraculous. Yeah. I think we'll do fast shot. Ah, it's much better. All right, not a stretch. Second. So when I first got this game, I couldn't believe how much fun it was. It's just that standard arcade feel, and level progression, a lot of things to unlock. Like this one, the rapid fire rocket launcher. This one is really good for crowd control, not so much for individual enemies like what we have here. Oh, but I'll keep this rocket launcher instead of the regular rocket launcher. And you get these little power-ups that throw down. And there's the level. Not a scratch? When did I get hit? Or, no, I didn't get not a scratch. Let's retry that. I don't remember getting hit. Maybe I got touched. And I love the music. The music is appropriately heavy. Let's do radioactive. That means if they get too close, they take damage. Bad shot. I would have loved to have had this one at the beginning. There we go. Not a scratch. That's much better. So since this is Seeker rockets, these ones are kind of cool, but they can be a pain in the ass if they don't hit the target where you're aiming. But I'll keep them instead of the... Because they have such a wide turning radius, if they miss their target, they may not circle back and hit. Let's do lucky. Oh, we're done. Sometimes the later levels, they really depend on you getting a good weapon. And this is a terrible weapon. It's okay when you're going against these small-time enemies, but once you get to some bigger enemies in some of the later levels, it's pretty awful. Out of thin air. Oh, not gonna get it. Yeah, the games can get pretty intense. There are the main stage that I do is they have like an arcade mode where you just get dropped into an arena and it just keeps going. There we go. Oh no no no! Telekinetic, that's a great power-up. What that does is if there's a power-up on the ground, you'll draw it towards you. are we going? Where are we going? Ah, flamethrower. I hate the flamethrower. I'd rather have the standard gun than the flamethrower. The problem is sometimes you can go a while without them dropping another weapon. There we go. Let's do fast shot. This is I think the Gauss shotgun, which is a great weapon, but it's low ammo. And and the reload times are ridiculously long. So if you get in a corner, it can be pretty tough. But as you can kind of see the ground getting painted with blood, that's the reason for the name Crimsonland. Bonus economist. That lightning bolt that I just sent across the arena, that one's a really fun one to have when you've got a ton of enemies. But when it's sparse like this, it doesn't do a whole lot. Not a scratch. And the reason why I'm kind of sticking with not a scratch is because that's what these little stars are for. So I'm kind of doing a bit of a completionist sort of thing. This one's a pretty cool gun. It throws out a little razor blade. And it kind of shreds through the enemies pretty well, but the reload time can be really annoying if you get surrounded. Let's do random weapon. What do I want? I've gotten all the weapons unlocked except for this one. I think you have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, and it gets ridiculously hard at times. Let's get the, let's do this one. The plasma chain gun. I guess we'll do perk expert. It's the only one that makes sense. Some of the perks are actually really bad to pick. And sometimes they give you a really lousy selection. Oh, and that's the end. Not a scratch. Nice. Sometimes waiting for that first one to show up, because the first one, when you start a new round, first one always drops a weapon. The nests can be a real pain in the ass. If they start building up too many of them, they just keep dropping tons of enemies. I didn't mean to grab that when I did, but I did. Oh! Oh, he hit me. Damn it. So I'm not... I only had a couple of enemies left and I screwed it up. Retry. Hopefully this one they start me off with a better beginning weapon. This one's a good one if you hit. This is another one that's great for crowd control. But one-on-one, not so great. I think I did not a scratch. There we go. 8-legged terror. And some of the enemies shoot back. Oh, you bastard. The death rattle is pretty wicked. Alright, so let's not take him on first. Let's try one of these and get a better weapon. Gauss minigun. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Got him. Come on, reload, goddammit! Oh, they hit me. Boy, they really amped it up fast on this one. But you can see what I mean by reloading speeds when you're when you are crowded. It can be a real pain. A lot of these levels, it's fully dependent on what gun you get. But I got to try that one again because it's the only one where I don't have not a scratch. Ah, they gave me a flamethrower. I hate the flamethrower. It is so fucking useless. I don't care. Just kill me. I want to restart. Yeah, if I wanted to die, if I didn't want to die, I'd be dead immediately. So yeah. So when the first weapon they give you is that little flamethrower torch, it's almost like they're just saying "fuck you." Stop! Ah! mean, I'm making it more difficult for myself than I need to. Alright, here we go. Now we got a little something. Oh, let's do random weapon. Five-way secret rocket. Oh! Come on, take him down, take him down, take him down, take him down. There we go. All right. There's a combination there. When you have the mini rocket swarmers, you get one shot before you have to reload. So I did this, one of the perks that I got was Angry Reloader, and every time you reload, you fire out bullets in all directions. So when you have a gun that you have to reload every shot, that's a pretty good combination. So, alright, let's continue. Moving on to the Red Trail of Mercy. Okay, so this one I did get the untouched at the beginning, but we're going to go through and continue trying to see if we can... Ooh, mini rocket swarms. This is actually a really good weapon when there's a big crowd right in front of you, because it does so much damage point blank range. Oh, you tricky bastards. Oh! Nanacodol, thank you very much. Oh, you're just a commercial. You kiss my ass. Actually. Do not come to my channel expecting me to buy viewers, followers, primes, and everything. Fuck you, commercial pieces of shit. Hey, R-Signs. Glad to see you come around. Oh, I can't stand these people that pop into your thing, drop a commercial, and then bolt. I'm not buying your shit. Maybe if I was monetized, I might think of spending money, but I'm not monetized just yet. It gets me because, you know, I get so excited. This person popped in and actually followed, and I actually have to change something here real quick. There we go. My alert box was not on top, so I didn't get to see my girl do her little dance when somebody subscribed. Okay, what am I doing? Let's do long distance runner. So R-Signs, how are you doing this evening? Okie dokie, awesome. Okie dokie, artichoke. Oh, right on top of everybody, drop the nuke. I'm a little disappointed. They dropped those enemies right on top of me. Alright, we're gonna actually bail on this one. Oh, I'm not too bad. At the very beginning, I did a little bit of a kind of a tribute to Gilbert Gottfried. I'm still bummed out that he passed away, but well, that's how things go. Unfortunately, I'm getting to that age where everybody I know is just starting to pass away, and I hate it because I'm not seeing anyone stepping up to do any replacement. I know, and that's what I thought was so weird. We were talking about Gilbert Gottfried for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and then I wake up this morning, I was like, maybe I shouldn't talk about celebrities that I like. Okay, so we're going to switch over to this one. This is actually survival mode, and in this one, the enemies never stop. You play until you die. Now that I've got a little bit of practice under my belt, now we're going to jump into this one. This one, it starts off kind of slow, and then it gets progressively more ridiculous. Rocket minigun, yes. Now that we're in the survival mode, this is where power-ups and perks make a big difference. Okay. Let's do lucky. Chew him up, chew him up, chew him up, chew him up. Oh, I got it. Got it. This is it. Oh, sure. Let's do my favorite weapon. This is a good weapon to keep. Get him! Some of those big enemies are kind of ridiculous. Oh man, they're gonna make me choose between telekinetic and regeneration. Oh, that's okay. This is kind of a fast-paced game, but let's do telekinetic first. I love regeneration, but telekinetic is pretty good in a pinch. Yeah, see, when the telekinesis pulls those power-ups to you, you don't have to go through the swarm to get to them. Monsters can't slow you down with their nasty scratches and bites. It still hurts, but the pain is gone. Let's do unstoppable. There's one enemy on here that I absolutely cannot stand. It's a spider that every time you shoot it, it splits, and it's a giant spider, and it splits into 2 smaller spiders, and then 3 smaller spiders, and smaller, and if you don't have a good crowd control weapon, it's a pain in the ass. Okay, let's do radioactive. It's starting to get kind of close combat now. Let's make them suffer from standing next to me. shooting at me. I wish I had the seeker missiles for those, because I hate getting close to the ones that shoot. Because they take so much focus away from everything else. And then I have to clear out the room. Oh, getting intense. Oh, let's do Doctor. At least then I know how close some of these bigger enemies are. To death, I mean. Oh, medkit. Awesome. Need it. Need it, love it, want it. Medkit, get it. Oh, there's one. There's a splitter. Oh my god, it's getting crazy. Shit, now I'm fast. Oh, got it. Oh shit, here come the gunners. Ah! I hate them so much, they're so hard to dodge everything. Ugh. I guess we got them all, there's no more bullets flying, except for mine. Back off. Oh shit, get the ice. Shit! Oh my god. I guess we'll go with Doctor. Oh, health kit, that's what I need. More gunners. Ah, shit. I think this might be the end. That's the end. What did I end up? 418,000? What is my high score? Oh, Jesus, I wasn't even close. 876,000. Wow, I don't know how I got that kind of a score. That's crazy. Oh boy. That's a rough game. Let's switch the game mode up. Okay, let's just move down the line. We'll go to Rush. This one, you start off with an assault rifle and nothing else. My best for this is 45,000. Quite a dramatic difference. Let's see how we do. Oh, is there no reload? Oh, awesome. No reload. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ah, 25. Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you. In the space he invades, he gets by on you. Oof, that was rough. I didn't come anywhere close to my high score. Let's try again. Take it to him, take it to him, take it to him. I kind of wish there was like a multiplier or something. Yeah, see, without power-ups, it's a vastly different game. Ah, well, I did better. Of salesmen! Of salesmen! It was written on the... What was it? What was it? In the words were written... Oh, shit. It's been so long since I've heard that. Rush is not exactly huge here in Australia. Yeah, this game can be kind of anxiety-inducing. It's a bum rush. Okay, let's... Oh, I remember what it was. And the words of the prophets were written on the studio halls. Concert halls! And the echoes with the sounds of salesmen. Of salesmen! Of salesmen! Alright, weapon picker. Alright, this one sucks because every weapon has limited ammo and you have to keep picking up new weapons. So when you find your favorite, that's all you're going to get from that one. Oh god, it's done! I'm already out. Oh, that one's done. Shit. Ah. Oh, damn it, I didn't mean to pick that up. Hate the flamethrower, hate the flamethrower, hate the flamethrower. Shit! Get off me, get off me. Oh, there we go. Get the gun, get the gun. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Ah, no! 69,000. What was my high score on that? 74. Wow, I got close for my first attempt. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's try again. Oh, it dropped all the guns in the opposite direction from where I'm going. You ass. Oh shit, that one's already done. Some of these weapons are just terrible. And the arena is such a big area. Come on, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Oh, I didn't mean to grab it. That's what she said. Oh, just keep giving me the pistols, you sons of bitches. Argle bargle. I did worse. Alright, next game mode. Nukefism. I don't think that's a real word. What do you do when you're all out of ammo and you have no weapons? Use the nukes and other power-ups to your advantage. So I think this one, you don't have any guns. Yeah, I have no ammo. Get it, get it, get it. Come on. Wow, those are not doing much help. Yeah, don't give me anything, you fucking game. Oh boy. And that's the game. But for Vince Lombardi, there would come another day. Wow. What was my high score for that? Wow, 67,000 and I got 45,000. That was brutal. Brutal. Alright, Blitz. Chaotic, fast-paced survival with perks and weapons unlocked in the quest mode. Okay, my best is 222,000. Let's see what we can do. Alright, fast reloader. Rain some hellfire! Fatal Lottery. 50-50 chance of dying or gaining 66,000 experience points. Sure. Oh, and I got it. Let's do my favorite weapon. It gives me +2 to clip size and no more random weapon power. I kind of like the gun that I got. I guess we'll go with Sphinx. Oh, we got a splitter. Damn, that was a fast death. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, sometimes when you get that freeze and you get a bunch of people to enemies together, you can really rack up the points. That was a brutal fast end there. All right, what you get? Jackhammer. The jackhammer is a great fucking weapon. It's basically just a rapid fire shotgun. Let's see. Let's do radioactive up front. I mean, it's the gun that lives up to its name. You are literally jackhammering the shit out of the enemy. There we go. Now we're getting some stuff. Alright, let's do perk experts. Alright, fast loader, yes. May not do a lot of damage, but its damage per second is pretty high. Lucky. Oh shit, I'm almost dead. Wow. What? You mean a game called Crimsonland is too violent? Well, yes. It ain't no PG game. This sucker's PG-13 with a little bit of use of the one F-bomb rule. I do love that about the ratings board. You can have a PG-13 movie and include one fuck. So there's a game that's sometimes I see as played on forums. What if you get one F-bomb? Are you serious? Because you seem much older than that. Okay, alright, you had me worried. I was like, what, man? I've been conversing with a minor this whole time? Shit, they're gonna get me for grooming. Because apparently all you gotta do is just talk to a kid. An old shit. I was gonna say, I thought I remembered hearing maybe you saying, maybe it was someone else saying that you were 30 or something. Maybe it was someone else. Alright, let's try that one again. See if we can get... I don't believe that my high score on this one is the end-all be-all that I'm ever gonna do. The Gauss gun is okay when you got a whole crowd, but it can be a real detriment because you only get like 9 shots. And if you miss, you are really out of luck. It is a gun that insists on accuracy. Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute, didn't you just tell me you were gonna go out to karaoke bars for your birthday? It's like, if you're turning 13, you must have a hell of a fucking, fake ID. What are we gonna do? You know what? Screw it. I'll give my soul and 99% of my health for 3 new perks. Screw it. I'm not doing that great anyway. Let's do luck, lucky, angry reloader, and regeneration. There we go. Now we just gotta give regeneration a chance to work. Nope, didn't work. Damn. Ugh. Let's go back to the game modes. What else do we have? Waves, survive waves of critters. You know, we're gonna go back to survival. That's my favorite. It's always has been. 876,000. But I'm in, 248th place. I love the random bones just skittered around the arena. Come here, Grandpa. Oh, come on. I hate this gun. Yeah, Spelunky. Actually, I think I got this about the same time I got Spelunky. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like this is a game that I've had for a long time. Come on, get a little closer. The biggest problem I have with this gun is it's so fucking weak. If all you have are these tiny little creatures, it works pretty well. But without it, a random weapon, yes, please. There we go. Now I just need to get some perks to help me with my reload, and we're going to be doing some damage. Don't receive any damage while reloading. We'll go with that. It's not a fast reload, but Missed it completely. Oh. Exploded him right in my face. Telekinetics. Alright, give me a good perk. Lean, mean, experience machine. That one's a good one to get very early on. Basically, your XP just builds at a steady rate, whether you're earning it or not. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, that take no damage while reloading was probably the smartest thing that I did with this gun, because the reload time is so long. Basically gives me a few seconds of invincibility if I'm reading it right. Power-ups appear randomly out of thin air. That one, yes. Because that with telekinesis really works well together. Oh no! Oh, that damn spider did a lot of damage to me. Man, I ain't even getting close to my high score. Wow. This is the game that is very much dependent on the perks and the guns, and there's a lot of combinations. There we go. Come here, Mr. Lizard. Ah, flamethrower. Suck. Actually, I don't have a lot of confidence that I'll get a new high score, because I remember the round that I had with the high score, it was crazy. I got all the perks that were pertinent. I guess we'll do long distance runner. And right now, flamethrower is just so garbage. It's terrible. Its range is garbage. Basically, you can't kill an enemy unless you're right on top of it. And of course, they're not giving me any other guns. I guess we'll do the XP. I've been wearing them all week, dude. You just now noticing? Capital what? Oh yeah, yeah, I've been wearing them all week. Go back and look, I promise you. Damn it, they finally give a new gun and I'm nowhere near it to be able to pick it up. I guess we'll do the experience machine. Yeah, my wife went to a clothing store, and the gals were just giving them away with their sales. if you bought something, you got some free bunny ears. So she got a pink pair, and she asked if she could have a second pair for her husband, and they laughed and said sure. So I was like, well, okay, I'll wear them all week during Easter week. Oh, there, get the gun. There we go. That's something. Now that I'm almost dead. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been wearing them all week. I said that I would. I said I'd wear them all broadcasts throughout the week. Let's see. Trade a third of your health for only receiving 2/3 of damage on attacks. I guess we'll do poison projectiles. Damn it, I'm dead. Man, I'm not even breaking 200,000. Ugh. I kind of figured that today was going to be a short session. I've been at it for an hour. I'll try to tough it out for about another half hour. But, ooh, this game's kicking my ass. Yeah, favorite weapon, flamethrower. No, it ain't my favorite. It's all you fucking gave me, game. Alright, come here, zombies. Come here. Oh, him's a shy little boy. Got a treat for ya. Damn, that dude took a lot of ammo. Radioactive. Boy, did anyone else get as sick of that fucking song as I did? It's like the music industry can't help themselves but make you goddamn sick of every song that's halfway decent, you know? There's so much garbage bullshit music out there that I can't stand. If you guys like it, fine. I'm not going to say you're stupid, but I can't stand a lot of it. But then when a good song comes along, they got to play it on every fucking station. And that's one thing, I'm going to say this about Queen. I love Queen. I am so sick of hearing about Queen. They are pop enough to be on the pop station. They are rock enough to be on the rock stations. They are classic rock. They are modern rock. They are so many genres, and everybody takes the option to play that. I love Queen, but I'm so sick of hearing Queen on the radio. Because they only play the same 3 damn songs. We Will Rock You, Bohemian Rhapsody, and You're My Best Friend. And it's like, there are other songs. They were around for like 400 fucking years. They put out more than one album. I actually only just recently saw the movie, and I didn't get to see the whole thing. I got into it. Well, I'll say this much: is it Adam Lambert who took over? I think Adam does a fine job, but yeah, Freddie Mercury was a one-of-a-kind individual. But I think Adam Lambert, is it Lambert or Lambert? I'm not sure. From what I've seen, I think he does a fine job, and I'm glad that there is somebody who can carry on the torch in that way. But I'm not much of a follower of the modern stuff. Let's see, what is Right, exactly. Sometimes the lead vocal of a band is so iconic, you just can't recreate that magic in a bottle. However, AC/DC pulled out a fucking miracle in doing it. I still can't believe that they got that. When Back in Black came out, and I'm just like, I mean, I was a kid, but looking back on it, I was like, wait a minute, this is a different person? Ooh, it's getting a little crowded. Let's try to thin out the herd a bit. Oh, I hate those enemies that just suck up the bullets like a sponge. Oh, that's just a standard shotgun. I'm gonna pass. Anymore, stuck in the 90s, yeah, I have a mega mix on Spotify that's like 9 hours of just 90s. And sometimes I'll put it on when we're driving in the car, and my wife will be like, why do you have this song on your mix? And I said, because it came out in the 90s, and that's all this is. I was like, it's not a mix of my favorite 90s songs, it's just all 90s. And if it's a song I hated, I won't put it on my mix. But if it's a song that I like, and this thing runs the gamut, so it's to me, my 90s mix is a nostalgia mix. It's to make me feel like what I felt like when I was in high school, and it does a very good job of that. Like, I'll be listening and a song will pop up and I'm just like, oh my god, I totally forgot about this song. And it'll put me right back in that shitty station wagon that I had to drive that rolled over 3 times on the odometer. Yeah, I was an 80s kid. I was a 90s teen. So yeah, I'm an old fart. Let's do fast shots. No, I'm a Gen Xer, goddammit. I won't let nobody tell me that. I'm a Gen Xer, motherfucker. I am the last of the Gen Xers. I wore flannel to school, goddammit. Oh, let's do Jinx. Come on, give me some power-ups or something. Jesus. This is grim. Yeah, now we got Zoomers. Yeah, I think that's what they're calling the current gen is Zoomers. Oh, we were all idiots when we were kids. I actually feel sorry for the kids nowadays. They got a lot of shit that they got to deal with. They got cyberbullying like I've never experienced. You know, they've got a lot of bullshit that they got to deal with. Their entire lives, they've never seen economic prosperity. You know, and I don't want to go off on a tirade about the whole thing, but it's like, I try really hard not to shit on the younger generation. They have a lot. Exactly, kids can't be kids. The second that they get that phone in their hands, it's already on to the hardcore porn. And I'm like, when I was a kid, you had to find your uncle's magazine stash. And unless he had the hardcore stuff, you were just looking at Playboy or Penthouse. That was it. Now, it's like, a kid gets his phone and some kid says, "Hey, have you ever heard of this funny video called Two Girls, One Cup?" "No, I haven't." "Oh my God." I was actually on a forum, and there was a guy talking about how his son has become recently of age where he's, having, sex with other people. So he's a teenager. And he was talking to his son, and his son told him he was so disappointed. And this is going to get very gross. So if you are easily triggered by like anime and hentai tropes, just your warning is right now. He was talking about his son was talking to him about how they were having sex when his son was having sex with a girl. He was so disappointed that when she finished, she did not explode breast milk everywhere. And his dad was like, "That doesn't happen." And he was like, "Well, how am I supposed to know?" And he was like, "Where did you get that idea?" And he showed him all this hentai that he's been watching, of all this shit that is in hentai. And he's got such a warped perspective. And I'm like, how do you even manage? It's like, I thought it was bad enough when I was watching just regular 80s porn. You look at that and it's like, none of that's true, but at least it has some semblance of reality. This kid's watching anime porn where, demons are popping out of all orifices. This kid's got no hope. And I'm like, ugh. I don't even know how you deal with that. How do you teach, to have expectations that are in reality when you've got the internet that has absolutely zero reality to it. I mean, for Christ's sake, I'm wearing bunny ears, for God's sake, and nobody even noticed. But yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for the youth right now. They've got so much of an uphill battle, and when I was in school, the worst thing that happened was one major school shooting, Columbine. That was it, and we got into a skirmish with Kosovo right after I, got enlisted in the draft. If they called for a draft, I was going to war. That was the worst that I had to deal with in my high school career. Now you get into now these kids live in a world where bulletproof backpacks exist. I couldn't even imagine what it'd be like being a kid like that. It's, some of these kids, they have not known a world without hand sanitizer. A while back, during the coronavirus lockdowns, well, not the lockdowns, but when the lockdowns were lifted, I was watching little kids, like toddlers, just forming words and everything. Like, they could talk, but they only had a few words. Even then, they'd walk up to the crosswalk and push the button with their elbow. Right. Well, see, and I don't want to be one of those old farts to say, well, it was better in my time. No, it wasn't better, but it was different. And that's a big distinction to me. It's different. We had a different set of challenges. These kids nowadays, I can't even imagine how they cope. When I was in high school, that was kind of the beginning of, like attention deficit disorder, people finding out about that sort of stuff. And in my class, there was only one kid who was on Ritalin. And now it seems like all kids are on some kind of, performance enhancer or dehancer. And I'm just like, I can't even imagine what it would be like having a kid. I mean, I don't know if it's better or if it's worse, because I don't have any experience with that. But there's times I look at myself and I'm just like, I feel like there's times I need something. Whether it's something to de-stress. Yeah. Oh, no, it's cool. I know what you meant. But, it's something that every generation tends to do. My parents thought my generation were a bunch of fucking idiots. It's just the natural progression. I still look at kids and I'm just like, look at them punk motherfuckers. I'm waiting for them to do some trouble. But sometimes they surprise me. They surprise me, and in a good way. So I try to be cautious about generalizations, because There are some kids out there who've got their heads on straight, and they're really chugging through a really difficult world. So yeah, no, you're cool, R signs. But this is why I like having conversations. We get a chance to really discuss topics like that, and I'm not right on everything, and if someone throws something my way, I do appreciate that. But that's just my take on it. I think kids nowadays have a real bum deal, and I would love to make things better, but shit, I'm struggling myself sometimes, and I've been at it for decades. I'll give the kids one thing. There is something that the kids are doing right now that I am so I'm so proud of them for doing, and that is taking people's mental health and wellness into consideration. I have seen so much of. I have one of my friends here in Australia. She has a teenage daughter, so I get to talk to her and see. I get some kind of exposure to the youth, and there's always exceptions to the rules. There's always the asshole bullies and everything, but the kids that are there, they seem to care so much more about other people's feelings, emotional well-being. If you're having a crummy day, they want to hear about it. They want you to talk about that. And when I was a kid, if you had a crummy day, shut the fuck up, queer. That's what they told me. Nobody wants to talk about your feelings in the 90s. Go listen to Nirvana and try not to follow in Kurt's footsteps. That's as far as we got, And it was gross. I remember when, and while we're going on the homophobic slurs, I remember I was working for the newspaper and caught a nasty little bit of stuff coming from one of the teachers, and I wrote an expose on the little bastard. Oh, he didn't like that, but I didn't care. What are you gonna do? Fire me? I have one of the best damn attendance records in this school. I don't even have a discipline strike against me. You try to get me kicked out, you mean-spirited son of a bitch. Oh, I hated that guy. Basically what he did was, and this is in the 90s, so he got away with it. He basically was talking about, he was in class and he decided to go off on one of his Republican talking point tirades, and he basically said that I wish that they would take every homosexual, put them on an island, and nuke it. And I was like, a friend of mine was lesbian, and it was very rare in a small town community for somebody to be out. And I didn't care for that at all. So I went to my newspaper teacher and I said, I'd like to write a story about that. And I wrote a story about it, and I basically said, this is unacceptable. We should not accept this in our school. I don't care that we live next to, I don't care that our school is bordering a giant cornfield. We deserve better than this. And so I basically exposed a little bit of a scandal in that one. I was very happy to do so, but my friend she deserved a lot better than that, than to have to sit in a classroom for that. I was so mad at that bastard. And then years later, he got in a pedophile scandal with some underage kids, and we're like, why is it always the perverts who think that everybody else is the pervert and needs to be killed? So he's now in prison for life, so, I guess we won. Unfortunately, it had to come at the expense of somebody else, so, yeah, well, what can you do? But, but going with the mental awareness and everything like that, I can't say so much for America, because now I'm being exposed to Australia and everything, but here in Australia, everywhere I go that has schools and everything, they are very much focused on ask how are you, and then if they say something, follow up with it. And there was this whole campaign about it was letter R, letter U, letter O, letter K. Are you okay? And I was like, my God, I needed this when I was a teenager. Where was all of this movement? And it's not just word service. It's not lip service. I see kids actually in practice with it. And I'm like, good for you guys. Good for you. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of shit that goes down. Sometimes all you got to do is just ask someone, are you okay? And if they're not, let them feel like they can talk to you. That's the whole thing. And I see a lot of that. And I was like, boy, I wish I had that when I was a teenager. Because I sure needed, there were some days where I sure needed it, but I didn't have an outlet for that. I just went into my dungeon, turned on Marilyn Manson, and played Doom. I hope so. I hope so. I got my fingers crossed for him. Ah, the blowtorch. If there was a weapon that was worse than the flamethrower, it's the blowtorch. Well, there's a lot of dystopia stuff going on, I will say that. Living in Australia, I still try to follow American politics, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and I hate saying this, but I'm kind of glad I don't live there. I lived in a really awful conservative state. I lived in Kansas, and it was a farm community. I didn't belong there, but I didn't have the option to get out. And it was rough. I lived in that community my entire life, and it was super clear that I did not belong. It's when you live in a community where it's like everyone's on one side and you're on the other, it's just always a reminder that you don't belong here. I remember one time I got in trouble because I was talking to someone and they asked me if I wanted to go to a mud run. And I was like, no. Why the hell would I want to watch grown men drive their toys through a mud puddle? Maybe if I was participating, but I'm not going to go and watch that. You go have your damn fun, but I don't find anything that about that to watch exciting. But that's because I'm not sitting there drinking beer after beer after beer after beer. It's like when someone says that they're really into NASCAR. A lot of times what they're really telling you is they're really into drinking beer all Sunday afternoon. Well, see, and that's the thing. I don't believe that anybody's one or the other. I think everybody kind of has a spectrum of their beliefs. And some people are really... NASCAR, if you're there, is different than sitting in your house, But... And I don't want to sound like I'm belittling that. If you want to watch a car drive in a race, more power to you. But somebody asked me, and I'm like, I was like in my 20s. They had known me my entire life. I'm just like, what part of me sounds like I would want to go to a place and watch guys drive tractor trucks through the mud puddles? A mud run. I was like, there's no part of that sounds entertaining to me. And my God, did they get pissed off. And I'm just like, I guarantee you what I want to do for Sunday night, you don't think it's going to be interesting. I want to watch a whole, marathon movies of schlocky 80s horror. Right, tailgating and drinking, and to me, I guarantee you, yes, there are people out there who love NASCAR for what it is. I never met one. Every person that I ever met that was into NASCAR was just an alcoholic. But that's what I mean by where I lived, there was like one kind of person and then me. And, I was never a gearhead. I never cared for cars. Give me a car that can get me from point A to point B. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how it performs. Just as long as it does it and I can depend on it. That's it. See, and I'm not much of an alcohol. I don't drink much of alcohol. I am for weed legalization, 100%. I've ingested 1/2 gummy in my life. That's it. That's my drug experience. And it's so funny too. And the most damaging thing that it did to me was it made me destroy a bowl of Chex Mix. That's all it did. Oh God, it was so bad. I'm all for edibles. I think they're great. But see, I had never had one before, and when I went to a, I won't say where I went to, but the person who was there, who was hosting, was being real sneaky sneaks about it. And I was asking him, I'm just like, you seem awfully goofy today. And I was like, have you been into the wine? And she's like, and other things. And I was like, what are you doing? And it's like, she was blasted on edibles, and she offered me one. And I was like, I've never done any of this. Maybe we'll start with half of one. And I was like, I'm keen. Let's try it. So I tried one, and it was a Christmas party, and I ended up laying on the couch, just laying on the couch, head to the side, watching Christmas Vacation with a bowl of Chex Mix on the floor, just. Greatest fucking Christmas party ever. Oh, but and I was so it was the greatest bowl of Chex Mix, because what I did was I brought like several different types. I didn't have the ability to bring any like actual food. So somebody mixed all of the Chex Mix together, so I bought different bags. I had like the mint flavored, I had the chocolate Muddy Buddies, and the peanut butter. So we had all of these mixed together in the bowl, and oh, I couldn't stop eating. I wasn't hungry, I just kept, it was just reflex. So, but I'm a teetotaler. I fully admit I am a teetotaler. It does not take much alcohol to get me drunk. That's why I'm cautious about if weed ever got legalized. And here in Australia, it's not legalized. I think it's only legal in Victoria, but where I'm at in New South Wales, it's not legal. And I have to be very careful about stuff like that, because since I'm not a citizen, I can, if I get into major legal trouble, they can deport me, and I have to go back to America. Oh, I slept real damn good. But yeah, so I'm all for it. There was a time in my life where I was very stressed out. I was having major panic attacks, and it was a really awful time for me. And I really wish that I had some. Once I saw how much it could have assisted, I wish that I could have just, after work, go to a dispensary, buy some product, go home, and partake in it in the safety of my own home. I cannot believe that that's something that still you can't do in a lot of places. I always said, I grew up in Kansas, and I was like, I would be there, and it was like, this state legalized it, and this state legalized it, this state legalized it. And I have always said, I guarantee you, Kansas will legalize it someday, but it will be one of the last 3 states in the union to do it. And I fully believe that. I fully believe Kansas will drag its ass, because shit, in my lifetime, they still had Sunday liquor sales bans. I was in my 20s before they got rid of the Sunday liquor sale bans. You could not buy alcohol on Sunday. Oh yeah, all those conservatives. And I'm just like, it's a state full of conservatives, and every single one of them drinks alcohol all Sunday watching NASCAR. But you can't buy it. Sure stopped it, didn't we? Ugh. But a Scout's rifle is really awesome when you got a lot of enemies in a row, but you really gotta hit them. There's a lot of high damage. Let's do Doctor. But the reload time is really awesome. Right, exactly. You can kill your liver, you can kill your kidneys, and you can do it over the course of 20, 30 years. But don't you dare look at that, don't you dare look at that pot. You can't even look at it. My stepdad, I'll go ahead and say it. The person who offered me the gummy was my mom. It was at the family Christmas party. I might as well just go ahead and say it. But it was one of those things that I was so upset over. My stepdad, he has been a conservative his entire life, and he's never really been a jerk about it. But the one thing that made me so mad was one day we were talking politics, and the subject of marijuana legalization came up, and he was still touting all of the old lies that had been debunked. You know, and the biggest one that he was throwing out was, it's a gateway drug. And I was just like, for Christ's sake, okay, if pot's a gateway drug, then beer is a gateway alcohol. You know? Oh, I drink a few beers, now I want to move on to whiskey. It's the same damn thing. But the thing that made me so mad about him was, oh, good. Let's pick something. Here. Let's do this. The biggest problem that I had with him was he was the typical conservative mindset. Until it affects me, I don't see it as a problem. And you know, it gets so tiring when you live in a state full of people who think like that, you know? They don't think of anyone else's well-being. It's just, well, it never affected me, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. I'm like, well, everybody's different. And one of the things that he was all about was his entire life was he fought tooth and nail against weed legalization. You know, it's a gateway drug. It's not something that you need. Until the day that his friend and neighbor got such bad Parkinson's disease. His Parkinson's disease got so bad that he could barely sit still, and he was, you know, he was shaking all the time. So my stepdad goes on to the internet to try and do some research for him. Guess what helps with Parkinson's? Cannabis oil. Well, let's go to Colorado and start muling the shit back. Now he's the biggest advocate for it, and fine, but you cannot deny the fact that you stood in the doorway for decades, and people suffered when they could have had a very easy-to-grow plant in their backyard that have people that your hippie generation has been abusing since the fucking 60s. And it makes me so mad. Own up to that shit. You stood in the doorway until your friend needed it. Now you want to see it more widespread. Well, you can't have it now because you're the one who put the people in power who want it to stay illegal. Oh, I get so mad when that shit comes up. It's like, I'm glad that you're on the side now. But the fact that you stood in the way for so long, take some responsibility for that. It's like you're not a hero because it took you 20 years to get to where I was when I was a teenager. I'm glad you came around, but a lot of people had to suffer because you were dragging your heels on them. I mean, I love him to death. He's a great guy. He's helped me a lot in my life, but some of that backwards thinking, you know, and that's the bottom line, really, is that's the area that I lived in. Everybody was like that. If it's not my problem, it's not a problem. You know, there's a lot of people out there who need some help, but they're like, well, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. Good for you. You're also a white motherfucker living in a white motherfucking state. Oh, I get so mad at these people. It's like, yeah, you were born into a generation, and they're all like, well, when I was a teenager, I only made $2 an hour. Yeah, and then you adjust for inflation, that's $15 an hour, motherfucker. Ugh. They are. They're scared. They're scared of change, and they're the ones who changed almost everything in their generation. You know, my mom and dad are of the hippie generation. They changed a lot of shit, and for the better. Okay, now you're the old guard. Get out of the way. If you're not going to help, get out of the way. Stop obstructing. Oh, I don't want Mexicans to come to my country. They're here. Most of them work harder than you ever thought of in your life. It's like I've met plenty of really decent people who have immigrated from Mexico, and almost every single one of them is a harder worker than I have ever seen with my white ass family who lives in the trailer park. I was just like, every Hispanic person that I've ever worked with has been bust their ass every time that I see them. It's the white people who stand around bitching and moaning and wishing that, and they're the ones who don't do any goddamn work. And it's like, so where's the stereotype come from? My brother is one of those, well, they're going to come here and take our jobs. And I'm like, maybe you're not as skilled as you think. If someone can jump the fence, doesn't know any English, doesn't have any money, and day one can take a job that you've been working for 20 years, maybe you're not as skilled as you think you are. Boy, they hate it when I throw that one out in their faces. See, and that's the thing is, I'm all for. I know people who see multicultural families and they hate them, and I'm like, you're younger than I am. How is that? I work when I'm complaining. You're allowed to complain and be lazy. You got the best of both worlds. But it drives me crazy that, and here's the thing. My wife is Australian. For about 7 years, she lived in the States with me. Everybody loved her until she opened her mouth. As soon as she opened her mouth and showed everybody that she ain't from here, suddenly nobody wanted to do anything with her. And I was just like, you know what? If she ain't good enough for you, I ain't good enough for you. I'm moving to Australia. Australians fucking love me. They think I'm Canadian. And I love that. I know. I was so upset. For 7 years she tried to assimilate. And everyone was like, well, she just thinks she's so much better than everybody. I'm like, 'cause she is. She's got degrees. She went to college. When she first got there, she struggled trying to get into a job. When she finally got into a job, immediately she was making more money than me in a job I had for 14 years. So the fuck what? Yeah, she's smarter than me. And I'm glad she's on my team. But that's what drove me crazy was I just got so sick of just seeing her come home miserable because all these xenophobic, Kansas people hated anybody who was, foreign. And I was like, you know what? If she ain't good enough for you, I ain't good enough for you, and I'm leaving. I'm leaving. So I applied. We actually visited Australia for a couple of weeks because she wanted to come back home and visit her family, and I wanted to see it and check it out, but I didn't see it as a vacation. I came here for a scouting trip, and when I found out that, how great that it really could be here, on day 3 of a 2-week trip, I was like, why aren't we here? So as soon as I got back, I applied for the visa and got into it and went through the whole process. And it was a long process. And I finally got the approval, and out the door I went. And I've been here for over 3 years now, and I'm actually working on my citizenship for here. I want to be a full citizen. And it's absolutely, it is worth it. It was so worth it. It's such an increase because the way I was looking at it was I lived in a small Kansas community my entire life. I was like, anywhere I go, if it's a bigger city, has to be an improvement. But I'm like, if I'm going to leave, I might as well leave. So we had an opportunity here in Australia because she had family here, and I said, let's just take our chances. There hasn't been a day I've regretted it. Even with all the spiders and snakes. Yeah, they got spiders and snakes, but they don't have conservatives. Well, I don't wish to make people, jealous or anything like that. I don't want that to sound like I'm definitely bragging or anything like that. I like to give my perspective. And my perspective is, things, you don't have to just lock down in where you're at. There's a better situation if you want to take a chance. And and my biggest problem was I thought that I was basically done. I didn't have a lot going for me where I was at, and I really, I needed some outside perspective, and that's what my wife did. I thought that what I was experiencing was all there was, and she would just be like, "Why is it like this?" Things like health care. And she would be like, why does it cost money to go to the doctor? And I said, well, that's just how it is. And she's like, that's not how it is where I'm from. Oof, I needed that freeze. And that's how it is, And the thing that I thought was so funny was my conservative stepdad, every time that I would talk about Australia or something, he would be like, well, it's like that everywhere. When I would complain about something in the America, he's like, well, it's like that everywhere. I'm like, no, it ain't. You have lived in this town your entire damn life. Don't you dare lecture me what it's like on another continent on the other side of the world. It ain't like that here. Yeah, there's negative aspects in every single life, but where I'm at, I can go to the doctor and it doesn't cost me any money. Kids don't die in school. That's not something that happens here, The worst thing I think I've seen is a kid got stabbed, and he went to the hospital and was released. Those two things alone already prove to me that, yeah, it isn't like this everywhere. But they don't ever want to hear that because they're the red, white, and blue patriots. And if you talk about how great another country is, it means you're shitting on America. No, I'm not. I can talk about how good something is elsewhere. Instead of saying that I'm shitting on America, join me in trying to make America better. No, we'd rather accept that America is the peak pinnacle perfection and there's nothing that you can do to fix anything. And I'm like, I just got tired of it and I said, fuck it. I've got an option and I'm leaving. And I said, you can have it. I don't want it anymore, and I'm tired of sitting here waiting for things to get better when I have an option to try and make things better somewhere else. And but the thing that gets me is I tell my family members, come for a visit. They don't. They haven't. They never have. They haven't even asked, questions that would lead me to believe that they would come down for a visit. And, I find that to be really disappointing. Bonus. Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, I thought it was really going to break. I really thought it was going to break 200,000 on that one. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Oh boy, I tell you. Over America. I know, it's disappointing, it's I'm going to switch this over to webcam focus. I think I'm done with the games right now. Conversation's more fun here anyway. And I hate that when when you see how America is losing in so many different aspects. You're like, all my life I was told that America is just, the greatest there is, and, it's the best that there ever will be. And I'm like, no, it's really not, and then you have idiots who are all like, well, they hate us for our freedom. I'm just like, really? How many prostitutes can you go to? Because prostitution's legal in other countries. And I'm not saying that that's the pinnacle of freedom, but I'm like, don't say that you're free when you live in a country where you're not even allowed to eat cheese that isn't pasteurized. I was talking with somebody about that, and they made that as a comment. Somebody was talking to him, and it was like it was between an American, there was two Americans were in a chat board, and there was a British person there, and the one British person said, well, you say that there's all this freedom, but you really don't have all the freedom that you think that you do. And the person was like, don't even talk to me because you're not even allowed to this. And the other person, the British person, came back and they were like, hey, you're not even allowed to eat unpasteurized cheese. So don't tell me about what freedoms you have. And yeah, white cotton panties. I had to go back and watch that, and I showed it to my wife, and she just thought it was so funny. But that was a funny damn session. I wish I could recreate that for every single one of my broadcasts. My God, I would be so popular so fast. But yeah, it's really disappointing because my biggest thing is I complain about things that are going on in America because I want it to be better. That's how I was. That's what made me a patriot. I don't settle for America just thinking that they're the best in everything because they're really not. But when you act like you're number one, even though you're getting your face punched in by the people who really are number one. Let's make it a boxing analogy. If you're some underdog lightweight who has a lot of money, but you get your face smashed in every single time you go into a fight, are you really the number one contender? No, absolutely you're not. So, but you act like you are, so you don't spend the time in the gym bettering yourself to do what you think that needs to be done. Maybe America needs to hit the speed bag more than once every 20 years. Maybe America needs to pick up the jump rope about for 20 minutes every day. I don't know if that analogy makes any sense, but that's how I feel about it. Is I complain about it. I think that we could be better with healthcare because it couldn't be worse. I mean, yes, it could be worse, but when it's like me and my wife were spending $400 a month on health insurance, and each one of us had a $5,000 deductible, and we would go to the and I'm making $10 an hour at the job that I had before I quit my career. The best that they could do was $10 an hour, and it's like and she was making working in one field before she got into a major career, and it's like we spend $400 a month on insurance, and then and then we don't go to the doctor because we can't afford to do it because we're paying too much in insurance. And then an emergency comes up, or something we think is an emergency, and then we have to go to the doctor, and it costs us several $1,000s. Well, that's why we didn't get to Australia sooner than we did. We were planning an Australian trip for years, and then I had not a medical emergency, but I ended up having to go to the doctor, and it wiped out our vacation fund, took everything, and they didn't even tell me what was wrong with me, and that's what made me the most mad. They send me a bill for like $3,600, and they didn't even tell me what was wrong with me, and I was like, there is something wrong with me. Fucking tell me what is wrong with me. And it turned out I was having panic attacks. And the only reason I learned that is because I was talking to my stepdad, who said, sounds like you're having panic attacks. I went online and figured out how to fix it myself. But boy, it sure would have been nice if I could have gone to a doctor and gotten some kind of a prescription to help me cope with the shit instead of dealing it with myself. Maybe having a drug to take the edge off of it would be a lot better than having my heart go. And I'm like, 1,000, 2 1,000. 3 1,000, 4 1,000. I hated that. I hated that, and it was terrifying. I thought I was dying, and so I go to a hospital, and all they do is take my money, and then I had to pay the insurance bill again because I hadn't reached my $5,000 deductible, so I had to pay it all out of pocket. And then skip ahead a couple of years. My wife has something going wrong with her system. They go in, they actually do tests. They don't tell her what's wrong with her, and the test costs $3,800. And it's like, there's more to it than just billing me, god damn it. Tell me what's wrong. There's a follow-up that you are not doing. Meanwhile, here in Australia, I've been to the doctor more times this year than I have in the previous 10 years. The last 10 years I lived in America, I've been to the doctor more times just for like routine checkups and physicals and things like that. Hasn't cost me a dime. Not a penny. I haven't gotten a bill for it at all. Now, I could pay for insurance if I wanted to get like the premium experience, but I don't feel like that's necessary right now. Maybe when I get a little older and I could use a little bit more. But if I were to go down to the clinic, you know, I might have to wait a little bit of time. I think that gnat just flew right into my mouth. I might have to wait for a little bit of time, but I am going to see a doctor, and I'm going to get in there. They're going to figure me out. They might take some, you know, when I went in for a physical checkup and everything, they took blood work, so I had to go to the pathology protein. God damn it. But they sent me to the pathologist. They took some blood and they ran some tests, and I got like a 2-page printout that showed me, you know, what my all of the things that were wrong with me and everything, and you know, how my kidneys were working, and how my blood, how my, you know, pallets and the platelets and my iron and all that stuff. And they had all this checklist and all this stuff that they were checking for. It didn't cost me a penny. Something like that probably would have cost me a couple of $1,000s in America. I don't know. Even with insurance, it would have cost me. It's so ridiculous, so ridiculous. But you know, you can't talk about that to you know, the indoctrinated Americans that I used to live around, because, you know, well, I'm just talking shit on America, and we won't listen to that. And I'm just like, you should want this for yourself. But yeah, it's a fight that I just got tired of having, and I was like, fine, you enjoy what you think is, you know, you know, governmental utopia. You live what you think is, you know, the pinnacle. I'll go somewhere else where I think it's at least better. You know, and then I come here to Australia, and a lot of Australians are not happy with a lot of the things that are here. And I'm just like, I'm glad that you guys aren't settling for what you have, but what you have is better than anything I've ever had in my life. So that's why I always say that I'm kind of like the Yakov Smirnoff of Australia. What a country! It's like, in Australia, you can go see doctor. In America, you can go to hell. In Australia, doctor tells you your prognosis. In America, doctor tells you fuck off, give me credit card. Some people think that's, yeah. You're right, exactly. In Australia, you get bit by snake, go to doctor. In America, you just die. Snake bite doesn't charge. It's so bad, but I really feel like that. I really feel like that because a lot of times I'll talk to an Australian, and they'll, in their own way, they'll do their complaining. And it's fine, and I don't mean that they're complaining out of turn, but they'll do their complaining, and then I'll be like, well, let me tell you what it was like where I came from, and I was talking with one gal who, my friend who has a teenage daughter, and we were talking about healthcare, and she's like, is it really as bad as they always say on TV? And I said, well, okay, well, let me ask you this: how much did it cost you when you went in to have your daughter? When your daughter was born, what did that cost you? And she just gave me this look, and she was like, it didn't cost me anything. And I said, okay, so you went in to the doctor when you were going into labor. You went into the doctor, you had your baby, they did what they did, and then you went home. Did they ever send you a bill? And she was like, no. And I said, my niece had a daughter about 5 years ago, and it cost her $10,000 just to have the baby. And her jaw hit the floor. She couldn't believe it. And that was the shock moment. And I was like, yeah, that's healthcare in America. You go to have a baby and it costs $10,000. And I was like, that's just where we were at. I don't know where it was at anywhere else. But she didn't have that money, and grandma had to bail her out. Exactly, that skin-on-skin contact. That shit only happens in America. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's skin to skin contact, and it racks up. I've seen it several $100s. There's a video out there. I wish I could remember who put it out there, but it was an interviewer who went to like Britain and asked, what do you think it costs? And they had bills and everything to show that, and it was crazy watching these people react to. Um, Someone who was telling them, they said, in America, that's what this costs. And every single time they were like, this is ridiculous. Why is it like that? Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but it's an uphill fight. And I just, when life presented me the ability to go someplace where I don't have to fight for healthcare, I don't have to fight for kids getting shot in schools. I was like, those are two fights I'm tired of having because it's not going to change. And I was like, these are two things that I have access to. And I'm like, sorry, I got to look out for me first. I know that sounds selfish, but I was like, I have a family that I got to consider, me and my wife and any future children that I have. Yeah, I got to fight. You wake up late for school, man. You don't want to go. Nah, your mom threw away your best porno mag. That was a bad day. That was a bad day when your parents found your porn in magazine form. Alrighty, well, I'm going to get off my soapbox now that I've alienated everybody else. Oh, no. All my viewers are still here. So, what is today? Is today Wednesday? It is Wednesday. Okay, so tomorrow's Thursday. I don't know what game I'm going to play. I'm kind of at the point where I have no idea until like it's the day of and it's later in the afternoon. But I'll always make those announcements on my Twitter. So for everybody watching this, whether it's live or for the replay, make sure you check that out. Follow me on my Twitter. It's down below with my links to all my other pages. You can check out previous broadcasts on my video game channel, Nothing Beats Gaming. And you can also check out some of my video review channel with Sugar Pants Video Basement. There I am right there. Ah, such a handsome feller. And the latest episode is Night Beast. We have another episode coming out this Monday at 7 a.m. Sydney time. What's the next movie we're going to do? Well, you just have to wait and find out when it launches. I don't like to give away too many spoilers. Oh, Spelunky. Maybe I'll play some original Spelunky. I don't know. We'll wait and see. That's a good suggestion, though. It's been a while since I played that one. But Night Beast, fantastic, low quality B movie. It's a movie that you definitely feel like the people who were working on it really wanted to do a great movie, but maybe they didn't have the budget, maybe they didn't have the talent, but it's still entertaining. And the older I get, the less critical I am on certain movies. The only thing I say anymore, really, that I have a hardline stance about, just don't be boring. That's it. And you know what? I see Hollywood can't even do that. Suicide Squad. Come on. DC, how the hell do you keep taking Batman and make him terrible? Stop it! You take Batman versus Superman and you turn it into a fucking snorefest. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you make a boring movie when this guy in a rubber suit is entertaining? How dare you? And I'm not watching your 4-hour do-over. You can kiss my ass. You've already got my money. Oh, just don't be boring. That's all I ask. It doesn't have to be cogent. It doesn't have to be smartly written. Just don't be boring. Can't be done. Can't be done. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And until I greet you again for another time on the show, you'll have a great rest of the day, and we will catch you next time.